You've just stepped into She Said What She Said,
where the tea is hot and the shade is real.
and we always say it with our chest. Hi,
Hey, girl,
girl.
hey. Today we are going to be talking about the complicated relationship that we have with work, the highs, the lows, and the reality that most of us are somewhere in between.
Yes, say that
Life
part.
balance.
Do we have a work-life balance? Because I don't think we have a work-life balance.
I definitely don't have work-life balance. Like, am I there for working or am I just there for a paycheck?
Well, obviously we're there to work to get a paycheck, so I guess it's
Paycheck is always the bonus. Most definitely.
yeah. So we can, live, I guess. Do you remember the job that you had when you were 16 years old? Your first job?
I feel like I was very busy at that age. So my first job was actually Burger King. And then when I started going to college, I was working at Burger King and Target. I opened the Target that was at Hall and Heinrich.
Okay.
So I would go Burger King during the day and then go work Target at night.
Yes, that's why the hustle don't stop, because you've been doing it since you started.
Literally, always have worked 2 jobs. Don't even know how to live without working 2 jobs. Like, that's just the life that I live.
Unfortunately, in today's society, that there's no way.
Absolutely not. I mean, when I started working at Burger King, I think we were making, what was the minimum wage back then? We thought we were lucky to make $7 an hour.
I think I was at, I'm a couple years ahead of you. I was at I think it was $6.25 when I started at McDonald's. I was 16, yeah. So
I feel like most of us, our first jobs were fast food, most definitely. I worked at 2 different locations though, so to pick up extra hours, I started at the one at Hall and Romeo Plank, but every once in a while, I would move to the one that was on 16 and Gresham. I hated that one with a passion.
Which one is that?
The one on 16 and Gresham, the Burger King. That's right across from where Farmers Market used to be. There's the Popeyes, where Popeyes is.
Well, I don't think it's there anymore.
No, most Burger Kings are closed down. Burger King is going out of business.
Because it's trash, but that's okay.
Well, I used to love eating there when I worked there, and then I got tired of it. I don't eat there now. Absolutely.
Well, if you think about it like this, though, fast food in the 90s tasted much different than it does today. Tasted way better. Hands down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I got excited when Taco Bell came back with their decades menu. What? Because Taco Bell used to be the shit back in the 90s.
Even the early 2000s, but they ain't shit now.
It's definitely changed. The recipe, I'm sorry, I feel like they've changed their recipes because the meat is not meat anymore.
No, the meat is nasty.
Garbage.
The meat looks like, not to be gross if you're eating, please spit it out, but it looks like dried up feces when you look at it. It's just gross.
Yeah, I don't typically get the beef when I go there. It's either the chicken or the steak, and even the chicken, it don't even taste like chicken.
No, because it ain't. It's so you know what's funny though? I will say, like, the only time, between Canada, but when we went to France, we had Burger King in France. It was so good. It was so good. I don't know. Obviously, things are different overseas, but in America, fast food is trash. I'll just say that. Yes, just like everything else.
Try to avoid it as much as possible. Like, there may be one day where I'm like, oh, I could go for a McDonald's, Coke, and a fry. But even now, I don't think I've ever gotten fresh fries unless I specifically have to ask for it. And that's a problem. No matter what time of day that you go, every single time I'm getting cold fries.
So let me ask you questions. Because I was 16, 17, 18 when I worked at McDonald's. And today, kids who work at McDonald's, like, if you get chicken nuggets, right? And you're like, oh, you order a 20-piece. Back in the day, you got 5 sauces. It came with 5 sauces. They only give you 2. And then they look at you crazy like, oh, why are you asking for sauces? Hello, I bought 20 nuggets. I want 5 sauces. Like, you could back 25 years ago.
Absolutely. It's a lot of stuff. Like, you got to think about it. The price of how much a meal is. I took Elijah to McDonald's the other day, and his Big Mac meal was $13. Back in the day, a Big Mac meal was $5 or $6, $7 at the most. I'm not paying $13 for a hamburger that's about the size of my hand. Like, for my child, that was, no.
Make that shit at home.
At this point, yeah, I'm going to start doing it. I found that recipe to make that Big Mac bowl, and it was probably way better than the sandwich at McDonald's.
You said Big Mac bowl. That sounds about right.
I did. I'm definitely one of those. Big Mac for sure.
Okay. I wouldn't say you a big bag. I would say you just like food. Food tastes good, right? If it's made right.
Food, if it's made right, correct. And nowadays, when you go to these fast food restaurants, nothing tastes the same. Nothing tastes the same.
No. Do you feel like when you 16 at age 16 for me was like, I don't know, 20 oh my God, 24 years ago. So for me, the workforce 24 years ago is different than it is today.
Absolutely.
For me, I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. Do you feel the same about that?
Absolutely. Like I said, we were going out. I feel like, I wouldn't say we were forced to get a job, but kind of were, versus starting when we were 16 to now. Like, I couldn't imagine myself working in fast food now.
No, I mean, I appreciate the women. I say women because period, but women, I appreciate the moms that work at fast food because sometimes that's the only job they can get.
And the schedule. Now, I will say the schedule was probably more effective back then than it would be now. Like the schedule, I didn't have a kid. I didn't really have a lot of priorities. I was just making money for myself. Versus now, most fast food restaurants are open to 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. At that rate, you might as well work at a bar.
Well, you got to think though, if you're in high school and you're working in fast food, you're not able to work those hours.
Correct, because you can only work 4 to 5 hours a day. And if you work over that, you have to have a break.
Yeah, which was great for us. Bye.
Yeah, be out of the house, like I said. But nowadays, these kids, I feel like, I was just having this conversation with Elijah yesterday. So he's taking a class at school. It's a passion and paycheck class. And it's basically teaching them about getting ready for the job world, getting ready for balancing a budget. He has to pay rent. He has to do all this extra stuff. And I think it's a great class for him to take. Now, the reason he's taking it in 8th grade is because most of these kids next year, when they turn 14, will be able to have jobs. So I was having a conversation with him as far as because he has to pay rent every week, and they give them a budget, and then there's like incentives. You can buy chips, pop, stuff like this in the class. But if you don't spend any money, you get to save that money, and at the end of the school year, you don't have to take the final exam. So I asked him yesterday, I said, how much money do you have in your account? He's like, well, I said, if you tell me you spend money on stupid stuff and you have the opportunity to not take the final exam, we're going to have a problem. He's like, no, I spent only a couple dollars. I said, but whatever you're taking out, you're putting back in, correct? You're not just letting money deplete from your account and you're not replacing it, right? He goes, no. We have ways of, like, if they get an A, they get $5 to put into their account, or like little stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then they're teaching him how to write a check, which I think is crazy because nobody really writes checks anymore.
No, but I mean, there is the occasional time where,
correct, because I feel like in certain situations, some landlords still take checks. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to go anywhere at like a restaurant or an establishment and write a check, but to still be able to know how to write and read one, I think is very essential. Very important.
I think that's amazing. That also shows the game increase at school, right? Because when I was in high school, I guess it was just the fucking school I went to. They didn't give two shits about teaching you anything. Although I learned how to sew, but I mean, I would have loved to have fucking learned some type of budget analysis, something, spreadsheet.
Not only that, because it would have prepared us for where we're at now. Like, I feel like he's going to learn how to budget better than I ever did because he's taken that class. Like, we had wood shop, music, choir. Where are those things going to take me? Where were those things going to take me? Versus now, I feel like they're instilling it in all 8th grade. They just started this year, so he's one of the first kids to experience it. But all 8th graders at that school will be taking that class or something along the lines of it to prepare them for high school. And I think that's great.
I like that. That is amazing. I think that
I was intrigued. I was like, I got a lot of questions as an adult. Can you teach me how to budget? Can I take this class?
Yeah, he's going to be our accountant is what you're saying.
Absolutely. He's going to make me money some way, somehow, or help me balance our money once we get older. Yes, absolutely.
So let me ask you this. Do you have any like best things or best memories from any job or any job that you've had?
We'll say the opportunity to travel to New York to see the U.S. Open. I would probably say that was one of my best experiences because at that time, I really didn't know much about tennis. I followed Serena's career. But to be able to experience that myself, one, never going to the U.S. Open, two, never even being in New York. Would I do it again? For me, New York, no. It's a no. Too busy, too many people. But the experience to have that once in a lifetime experience for Times Square. What's the street called where you go shopping? I'm mixing up with California. That's Rodeo. And where they have all the shopping.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
But just to see all the stuff that you see on TV in real life, that was fun. We were there for 4 days, and everything was in walking distance. We got to see. So one day we took over Central Park. One day we took over Times Square. One day we went to the U.S. Open, and we went downtown. I would probably have to say that was probably my best memory, to be able to travel.
That's awesome, though.
All exclusive. I had to pay for nothing except for my spending money.
I mean, shit, you earned that, though. If you want to get technical, that's not something that you just were given. You earned it. So
Nope. I worked hard for it. So
but
it
that's
was
a
worth
nice little, yeah, that's a nice little perk. I'm probably gonna get a little cheesy here, so please forgive me. But I think the only positive thing that I can say that I've taken, well, one, okay, so I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but I'm gonna say this. The only positive thing that I have gained, you know, with relationships working at a past job is having my 3 best friends that I worked with. That's it for
Absolutely.
me. Because I mean, to
That's
me,
not cheesy.
work has just always been work. It's just a paycheck. But I mean, we are literally like the sister circle. So to me, that's my best part of having any job.
And that goes back to the whole, like I said, making friends thing at work. So you got to think about it. How many jobs have you had from 16 to now? How many friends have you made along the way? How many have actually lasted? So I wouldn't say that that's cheesy, because you got to think about it. I've had at least, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've had at least 7 or 8 jobs from 16. How many people do I still actually talk to? 3. Like, on a consistent basis. Like, I can say there are a lot of people that are my actual friends, but I wouldn't say that you guys are my actual friends. You have now become sisters, because you got to think about it. We're 10 years in the game? I don't have that friendship with a lot of people. Like, people from Burger King, do I still talk to them? One person, probably. And that's because I was actually in her wedding. But she lives in a whole nother state. She has her own life that, you know, it's not that we're not friends. We just don't talk very often. But when we do, it's always like we're rekindling our past friendship. But that's that. Like, who could I actually say that I went on a trip to Arizona with? I don't really say that any of my friends, per se, that I've actually traveled with. Like, I will put this out there. I do want to say that I've made a lot of lasting bonds with people. And I actually just found out yesterday that when I worked at one of my jobs last year, or the year before last, the person who was my trainer, I just found out yesterday that she passed away. And I was taken back by it, only because she was so young. She was so young. And I will say that she was one of, in all my serving jobs, to go to a new place and to have to learn the computer, the menu, not know how to serve, because I've been doing that, but to learn stuff that has a very, like, what's the word? Like, this menu was very hard to learn. She was one of the best trainers I've ever had. And I got a text message yesterday that she had passed away, and her viewing is on Tuesday, and I can't even go. Like, even if I tried to make time for it, I can't. And I feel bad, because she was great. And like I said, she's 50 years old. And to be taken away and not know that was going to happen, I was dumbfounded today. Like, I was struck. And the fact that they reached out to me to tell me, I felt honored, because I haven't been there. I haven't worked that job in almost 3 years. But to somebody to still make a connection and let me know, hey, just so you know, so-and-so passed away. Just wanted to make sure that you were aware. I thought that was nice.
No, that's really nice. I'm sorry to hear that.
It was a shocker. It was a shocker. Like I said, a lot of people...
Easy news.
No, death, especially when you find out, it's unexpected. Everybody at one point in time is going to pass away, but it's the young people who didn't really have anything wrong with them, seemingly perfectly okay, that are taken. That, I think, shocks me more than anything.
That's crazy. Yeah. I'm sorry, baby.
No, that's okay.
Do you...
somehow.
Yes, I do agree with that. Do you have any past jobs that you were like really... or even the current job that you liked your flexibility in your schedule?
You said that I like the flexibility?
Like, do you feel like you ever had a job that you had good flexibility with, like, your schedule and stuff?
Absolutely. Especially with the aspect of my lifestyle outside of work, motherhood, child who's in every sport, who constantly keeps me busy. I did have a job where I was able to pick him up from school every day with no problem. even now, I'm able to still do everything that I need to do without having to fall back on somebody else, and making sure that he is well taken care of, with him being in practice and stuff now. So by the time he gets out of practice, I'm getting off of work. I'm getting to him at a timely manner. I'm still having my nights to be able to spend with him. I'm still having my weekends to be able to spend with him. So I definitely say I've had 2 jobs that I've had that flexibility, but I've also had the jobs where I didn't see my kid for days because I was working crazy hours. And then when I got home, I was sleeping. Or I had a job where I worked overnights, where I would go to work at 11 o'clock at night and come off of work 7 o'clock in the morning, literally had 30 minutes to get him ready for school, drop him off at school. Then I would be asleep all day. By the time he got out of school, I had to have somebody else pick him up because I had to get my rest, because then I had to go back to work that night. So that was probably one of the worst jobs because it was in his younger years. So I felt like I was missing out on a lot. Versus now, I can probably do that because he's older. I don't want to, though.
I don't know.
Like,
who the fuck wants to work midnight? That is like trash.
I mean, I thought it would be the ideal, but it's not.
Maybe, back then it was a little bit more easier, but I like sleep. I don't think I could do that.
And that's the other thing. So like I said, you're sleeping all day to get up and try to stay awake all night. Like, I barely make it to 9:30 nowadays. You think I'm going to make it to work at 11 o'clock?
That's because we're old now. We're not in our 20s anymore.
No, we're not. And I thought it was crazy that I'm going to bed by 9:30, but then I'm waking up at between 4 and 5, and I feel perfectly fine. Some days I might be a little bit tired, but most days I feel great.
Exactly. No, it's because you got sleep. Okay, that is okay. I love that for you. I honestly don't think I've ever had a job where I had, I don't have kids, thank God, but I don't like working. My dream job would either to be hours wise to work 12-hour shifts, 36 hours, 3 days, and that's it. Have 4 days off, work 3 days. That's my dream schedule. I could do that shit all day. That would be the best flexibility you could give Jessica, but that's all we got. So now we just work 55 hours instead.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I did have a job where I did 4 10s, to get my 40 hours in, but it was the most hard job I had. It was factory work.
Yes.
I can never, ever see how people can do it, but I give people mad props. The people that work at Chrysler and Ford and GM and all, I give y'all props because, baby girl, I did it and I would never do it again. Being on my feet for 10 hours, 4 days straight. Yeah, granted, I had 3 days off, but the 3 days off, I could barely walk because my fucking feet hurt so doggone bad from being on it for 10 hours the day before. It wasn't worth it to me. And even in the bartending industry, those days I miss it, granted, because it was fast cash. But even the little 6 or 7 hours of constantly moving, people wonder why you got plantar fasciitis or you got tarsal tunnel, because you're on your feet constantly moving nonstop. And yeah, the money's good, but it's taking a toll on my body now more so than ever.
Exactly.
Falling apart. Slowly but surely.
Not that I feel like women can't do factory jobs. I definitely feel like women can do anything men can do better, and in heels. But I feel like women are magical creatures, and we don't deserve to have to work in a fucking 120-degree building for 12 hours with sweat dripping down our back when you have men who would never work as hard as women. That's a man's job. And I say that because men, and I'm sorry, I love men, but some of you act like little bitches. And that is your job right there. The factory sweatshop jobs.
And I think women have well, no, I just feel like some women have that hyper independent complex. So they may be doing it because they don't maybe have somebody else that has to do it. They have to do it for themselves, or they think that the money is worth it. But hear me out, people. Ain't no amount of money in the world worth it when it's going to take a toll on your peace, your mind, your body, especially your body. Because like I said, I've been there, done that, and I have so many issues now because of it. It ain't worth it.
No, we just need to have more self-care days and less destroy our body days.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to call off. It's okay.
Hell no. Don't be afraid. Use
that PTO. because they not gonna have no problem replacing you. Use all that PTO, use that vacation wisely. And there is a such thing as a mental health day. Take it.
Yes. What's
Take
PTO is prepare the others.
For the fact that you ain't gonna be there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I am one, and I am an advocate. There was a time, I'll take it back. There was a time where I had so much time stacked up because I was afraid to use it.
Yeah.
And I was
they made us think that it was bad.
Listen, and then there was another person that would call off every other day, or at least call off for days. And I'd be like, do they not care about their job? Do they not? No, the job didn't care about them. So they did what they needed to do to protect their peace. So then I became that person that would take the time off, that would take my mental health days, that would take the vacation. There was one year I had a vacation week every month.
As well as you should.
Didn't care. And I think that was probably the best year of my life, because there was a week or a weekend. I took a long weekend, at least for 12 months. I was able to space out my time to where I took off a week or a 4-day weekend and didn't care. I still had the job.
How long ago was that?
Not
it ain't
20.
Ain't no, I was going to say, ain't no job in the last decade.
No, that was in 23. Because when did I go to Mexico? 23? 23.
Oh, your day job are we talking about?
Huh?
I have so many questions. I love that for you.
No, I had enough time because it was racked up. So that was 23 because Elijah's birthday happened to fall, I think, on like a Thursday. I took Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday off. So that was a 5-day weekend. Then we went to Mexico, and even though I was in Mexico only for 4 days, I took my birthday, 2 days before, and then I took an extra 2 days after until I got COVID, and then I had to be off for that as well. But every month every month I had at least 3 or 4 days off.
Good.
That was a 23. I had it. Use it or lose it, right? I used it.
Do you have any like work policies that ever you're like, interesting?
Can't get with it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I got a couple.
I've gotten to the point of, this is what I don't get. A no cell phone policy, but everybody has to follow it. Like, I've had places where it was a no cell phone policy for the employees, but then you had management walking around with their cell phone. Like, I get that people have to be reachable, but if I have a kid, I have to have some type of, way. But there was the point where I couldn't have my watch either.
Yeah, there was one time a few years back, I was working at an office, and the manager there was like, oh, you can't have your phone. And I was like, oh, I think my grandma, this was like when she was in and out of being sick for a minute. And I'm like, well, no, I need my phone. So I went and I bought an Apple Watch. So I'm like, I need to be able to get a call if something happens. So,
well, not only, I had a job where they said I couldn't have my cell phone or my Apple Watch. Now, make this make sense. This was in Elijah's younger years. They're like, well, just give your son or give people your work number. My son, I've had the same number for the last 10 years, number one. Number two, it's going to be easier for him to rattle off my cell phone number than it is going to be for him to rattle off my work number. So I'm sorry, I can't do that. I won't have my phone on me, but I will have my watch, and my watch will be on silent. So that way you don't have to worry about me checking it or anything like that. My notifications will be silenced, but I will make sure that the people that need to get through can get through. And if I need to go, I need to go. That would be the same thing for you.
Yes, absolutely. Because there was a day, this was like 2019. I'm trying to think. Either 2018, 2019, I was at a place, and Brian got into a car accident and wrecked his car.
I think I remember.
His sister kept calling my phone, and I didn't have my phone because, of course, I didn't have it. And then I had my watch on, so I was like, I gotta step off the floor because obviously she never called me. So I was like, yeah. So then I went out in there. I said, I'm leaving. I have to go. And they're like, what? Why? Because I'm leaving.
Well, that's just like the one time that Elijah got suspended.
Yeah. Yes.
Days. But I remember when the one time that he got suspended, they couldn't get a hold of me.
For now.
So then the school got a hold of my mom because I'm not answering my phone. So they need somebody to come pick his butt up, and they can't get a hold of me because I don't have my phone on me. So then they're calling my mom, and my mom is like calling me. So then she has to show up to my job because I can't answer my phone. So then I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you here? Oh, well, Elijah got suspended. You got to go pick him up. which it would have been a simple pick up the phone and be like, hey, Miss Guy, you got to come pick your kid up, versus somebody having to show up to my, like, I would never want somebody to have to show up to my job, because then that makes me think worse than what it is. Way worse.
So your
than
mom,
what it is.
obviously, so she didn't have your number at work either.
Nobody does. I'm sorry, but nobody does that. Like, you may have it saved as a backup contact, but it's going to be so much easier to rattle off that cell phone number than it is going to be to rattle off that work number. I'm sorry. Even now, Elijah doesn't have my work number saved.
No, but I will say this about the phone situation. I do feel like it is important to have the phone on you, okay? Whether it's in your desk, whatever. I'm struggling with this now with a coworker, and they're new, right? Yes, if I have my phone on me, right? Not to toot my own horn, but I'm one of the hardest working people in my office next to my office manager. So I don't sit on my phone and play on it. And I'm definitely not a new hire where I'm being watched, right? So if you shouldn't sit on your phone all day, it shouldn't be acceptable, right? And I'm not her boss, so I can't say anything. And she only does it when she's around me. I don't like that shit. That shit pisses me off, because if I can't sit there and do it, you shouldn't be doing that.
Should you be able to? And not only that, if you have to be on your phone 24/7, work from home.
Girl, okay.
Be a call center rep. Like, get a job that has to deal with the phone. Like, my thing is why do we have to check? Like, people are so obsessed with social media. They have to legit be on social media 24/7. If I'm at work,
I hate it.
I don't check my TikTok. I don't check Facebook. I'm barely on Facebook now. I'm barely on TikTok. I don't post. I'm barely on Instagram. Like, my thing is I can go my 8-hour shift without checking my phone for socials.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't need to be on social media. Like, I don't need to scroll 24/7.
No. And the only time I do that at work is if I'm on break or something. And usually I'm watching TV.
When I'm allowed to have my phone. Like, I might check something real quick. But even my whole break, most of the time, I'm listening to podcasts or listening to music, because I'm sitting in the break room, people that don't shut up, and I don't want to hear them talk. So I literally put my headphones in. I'm not going to scroll, because me scrolling requires me to have to listen to other people's conversations, and I don't want to. So I put on music, or I listen to a podcast, or I just eat my lunch in peace. Like,
No, I heard that.
But I don't feel like I have to. People who have to be on social media,
No,
I don't know.
Today's society around that is a whole other conversation, but I couldn't be me. But I think that's what's different between us and Gen Z, though. You and I grew up during different times. I hate to sound like an ancient person, but 20-year difference, right? You know, behaviors are going to be different. So
absolutely.
But, wow.
I don't get it. I feel like sometimes shutting off the social media is a good thing for a mental health. Like, me seeing some of the stuff that people are posting, it becomes very draining. And especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, I'm trying to stay off of social media as much as fucking possible.
I hear that, but it's also important to know what's going on, because it's important to be aware. It's important to know
to be aware too, but sometimes it's overpowering. I have to do it in small steps, because I feel like once you see one thing, everything after it is like overpowering to me. So yeah, I can keep myself up to date in the shortest way possible, if that makes sense. Like, I'll log in, do something real quick, and log out.
That's okay. I understand that, because it's a lot every day. It's something, so I get it.
Literally,
it's hard to process it, you know.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about something you've done. I've never done this, but you have done this. I'm just curious your take on it, because I feel like in my mind I've quite quit a couple of places, but I've never actually followed through.
Okay. I'm like, what have I done? I was intrigued. Like, what have I done?
You're like, where the fuck are you going with this?
I was so confused.
Yeah, I mean, do you call it quiet quitting, or is it just you setting boundaries for your lifestyle?
I would say it's a little bit of both. So sometimes it has to be done, because like I said, at the end of the day, a job is going to replace you no matter what. They can give two shits about you. So my thing is, it was protecting my peace and setting boundaries. It was getting to the point of where I was bringing my work home with me. If I feel like I'm waking up and I don't want to go to a job anymore, or I'm dreading it, for me, that's my time to go. Like,
Yeah.
I was getting to the point where every day I was miserable. Like it was taking everything in me to get out of the bed and get ready to go to a job that I hated. So it got to the point where there was
Yeah.
word of mouth that something was going to be happening to me,
Yeah.
blindsided. And so you want to blindside me, so I'm going to blindside you. And that was me setting my boundary. So I did it. I did it. There was a lot
I'm so
of
proud of you. I'm proud of you.
toggling and back and forth because I have a lot of guilt because I'm not that type of person and I've never done it. I've always stood by a 2-week notice. Now, put a 2-week notice in and maybe work the week, type of situation I've done before, but never putting a 2-week notice in and not even working the next day. That was a big step for me.
Yes, but at the same time, when you're not waking up and it's one thing to wake up and just be like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to go to work. But it's like, I don't want to go to work because I'm going to come home crying, like miserable, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
not a enjoyable, I feel like any job that makes you feel like that, you need to exit stage left, ASAP.
Stage left, for sure. Absolutely. And not only
I'm happy you did that. I'm happy you did that.
It took a lot in me because, like I said, it was more so. But I guess the bad part about it is me giving you the proper exit, and you weren't even going to give me the opportunity to work my proper exit. So I could have been shady and just did a quit on the spot and been like, all right, fuck you, I'm not coming back. But I didn't have it in me. So I'm telling you, hey, this is not working out. I'm going to give you my 2 weeks. And then from word of mouth, not from you, heard it from other people, well, technically speaking, they weren't going to let you work your 2 weeks, but somebody else has to go on vacation, so they want you to cover the vacation. Why is that my problem?
That's not.
So y'all didn't care. Y'all didn't care that y'all was going to let me go, but y'all kept me because you wanted me to cover somebody else's. Nope. Now you got to cover somebody else's and figure out what you're going to do without me because I'm out.
That part. That's what they get for being messy.
Do I regret it? No. Am I proud of the moment? Like I said, I had a guilt behind it when I originally did it. Now I look back and be like, it was probably for the best. It was probably for the best.
No.
Because if you think about it and look and do your research on it now, it was for the best. It was for the best.
Yeah. I mean, don't get it twisted. I mean, I don't think in this fucking lifetime, especially with all the stuff that happens day to day, I just don't know if there's a job out here. There is one job I probably would wake up and just work for free doing it, but
your dream job.
Yeah. I mean, I love this job, right? And we do this for free, but that's not what I'm talking about.
No. I get what you're saying 100%. Like, what would you describe as your dream job? Personally,
for me, my dream job, and this is not why we're moving to Los Angeles, but I am really into like the behind the scenes stuff of television and how everything is an optical illusion, how things look on TV. Of course, it's not real life. It's fake, right? I want to be those people that help make it look fake. I want to be the behind the scenes people, whether it's an assistant director or I'm a personal assistant, something. I want to just help make beautiful artwork for like the creative process. I love it. That's what I want to do. And I would do that shit for free. But punching a clock to go to a job to get fucking bitched at all day, it's just like not it anymore.
Draining. It's draining.
However, I'm also, but the one job I have that is not stressful is my massage. I do massage part-time, and I love that I get to make people feel a little bit better. So that part I appreciate, but the other part, no.
Well, I can definitely say that side hustles for me have always been bartending. I don't care what type of job I've worked. I can work in retail. I can work in sales. I can work in optical. I can work factory. I have always had a second job or a side hustle as a bartender. Not saying that I would be a bartender as my dream job, but I can definitely see a future in it. Because everybody's out here trying to make a hustle. Everybody's out here trying to make a business. I can see myself going into my own mobile bartending business because I have built a rapport at every job that I've worked at.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I can see you doing that.
And I'm doing my research as we speak on how to become in business for myself as a mobile bartender. because
You should.
it's in demand. It definitely is in demand, especially with graduation season coming up, weddings, events like that. People are definitely looking for somebody to travel and to cater to their events. Now, I'm not a cook, so I'm not a caterer, but I can definitely whip up a cocktail for you.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So
yeah, no, I think that's a great idea to explore.
Definitely gonna do my research.
Entrepreneur sounds great after your name. Actually, we both kind of are already that, because I don't care what anybody says. Having podcasts, running your own podcast, you're editing, you're basically directing, writing, figuring out the flow and the process, the creative side of it, that is hard work.
That's a job itself.
And
that's a job in itself,
is.
yes. So it's a side hustle.
But it's like we're running our own business, and then we're running ours together. So it's like, yes, I can definitely see you. Yes, do that. Yeah, so you're going to, at some point in the future, have a advertisement for Marissa's mobile bartending gigs.
Yep, I got to come up with a name, because I've been trying to so Mars Bars is starting to get kind of played out, because that was originally given to me in college. Obviously, I've been out of college for some time now. It stuck with me, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's going to be my business name. I got to come up with something a little bit better.
Yeah.
I do want to incorporate my last name for sure.
You can definitely do that. There's definitely, you could play on that for sure.
Well, it was so crazy, because me and my mom originally had talked about, it was crazy because I forgot what the name was, but me and my mom had originally talked about traveling business, and I forgot what it was. It was like Into the Sky with Guy or something like that. I don't know, but it was very quirky. Yeah. So I'm like, if I could, do you remember what it was? Because I don't
remember the name, but I know exactly what the hell you're talking about.
Yes. So I got to find something that was just as quirky as that for my mobile bartending business. And it'll take some time, but I'll get it figured out. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know how people talk about how back in the day, when you worked a job, okay, so we'll kind of pedal back to the factory jobs, right? You have people that have worked for GM, Ford, and Chrysler who've been there for decades, right? I don't feel like working for a job for a long amount of time. I feel like 5 years is a good amount of time to dedicate your time to a company. Because I think beyond that, I mean, we've seen people who have worked for companies for decades that have just consistently been laid off. So it's like you give your all to a company, and then they play in your face. And then, so I don't feel like, okay, if you're 50, 60 years old and you leave a job that you were at for a minute, I think it's okay to pivot. It's okay to pick a different, career or job or whatever.
Sometimes it might not work out, because I've even tried it. So I've been in one career for so long, and I thought, hey, I could maybe combine my main job and my side hustle and make it one.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. It's best to keep the two separated, but that's just me. It could be somebody else who might think that they could take on that responsibility. But me personally, I don't think I excelled at it. I think it was very
it's not that you didn't excel at it.
Be...
No, let's pedal back to that, because you are a great hardworking employee to any business you work for. I don't think you had the correct tools to be successful, because they didn't want you to be successful. So it wasn't you, it was them. It was them. Which, again, is bullshit.
Honestly, would I go back?
Hell no.
Probably not. As far as putting the two together. But no, putting the two together. I don't think I would go back to putting the two together. I think I would more so want to keep the two separate.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And plus, because you said it yourself, right? It puts a lot of wear and tear on your body. And I'm not being funny, but you're not 20 years old anymore. So you're not going to wake up the next day and be like, oh, let's go. No, girl, you're going to need a hot bath and some Epstein salt. Epstein. Oh my God. Epstein.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got these Epstein files on my mind. Anyways.
Definitely no. So like I said, it's crazy, because we think that possibly pivoting later in life could be scary, but is it actually worth it? Sometimes. But sometimes it's not. As you can see from my experience, it wasn't worth it. And we have to really focus on protecting our peace, especially when it comes to working. Because like I said, at the end of the day, an employer can replace you just like that.
Quick,
fast, and in a hurry. Okay. Because how do we know? How will we know? We don't know. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know what the process is. We may think we do, but we don't.
No, we don't. We don't know shit. I know this is like a taboo thing to talk about. A lot of people don't talk about money. And I personally feel, as somebody who has always worked 2 jobs, right? Money is important, right? You want to live, you want to do things. You have a kid, so and you're a single parent at that. So it's like, okay, yeah, money is important. And I think having decent, I feel like, okay, if you're one of those people that just show up to work to punch the clock and you don't do shit, fine. If you're a hardworking employee, like, you should be paid accordingly, right? And I don't know why people don't want to talk about that. You should want that for yourself.
Absolutely. So not only that, I have noticed that sometimes it can be, and I'm going to keep going back to this, protecting your peace. So sometimes you may think that taking a pay cut might protect your peace. Yes and no. Yes and no. And the reason I say that is because, yes, I had a job that was paying an astronomical amount, but at the end of the day, I hated it. And it was like, there's not enough money in the world that could make me stay. And I have instant regret every single day. Or you have a situation where you take a job that is lesser pay, but your peace is protected. You may not be 100% and still may not like it, but you have a little bit of more leeway and a little bit more luxury when it comes to your weekends, your time, and your peace is still protected. So it's kind of like it can be a win-win situation, or it can be a topsy-turvy where it's like you want to be up here with pay, but then the work is here, or the other way around. The work is up here, but the pay is down here. So it's like, how do you balance?
There's definitely pros and cons.
Ideally, everybody would want a job that's up here with the pay that's up here. Ideally. But I feel like in the world that we live in now, it's not going to happen that way.
No,
let's be real.
We're going to be working until we're 90 years old, and I love that for us so much. That's okay, because at the rate this is going, I won't be living here, so it's fine.
And that's fine, but in that reality, we have to always be able to negotiate as well too. So like when you're going into a job and you understand your worth, let's say you're going into a job and they're like, what are your expected pay? Okay. You say you want it to be 60K. They come back at you and they say, oh, we can only offer you 53. Well, I know I'm worth 60K, so can you try to give me 55? Like, you have to be able to negotiate and not settle for less when you know you're worth more.
And you know that they can pay it, You're the one that needs an employee.
Other people are making it. So if they can offer that employee who is half-assed, lazy, doesn't go above and beyond, they can offer them that amount. But you have somebody who's willing to go above and beyond, goes the extra mile, and you can't offer them that. It's not the job for you.
No, it's really annoying. Yes, heard. Knowing your worth and just defending yourself, sticking up for yourself, because no one's going to have your back like you do. Nobody.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately,
stand your ground.
These jobs don't care. Yeah. Do you think that it's possible to, now for you, yes, you have more of like a work-life balance. I don't feel like now, right this minute in life, you don't feel like you're juggling the clock as much as parent time, but I would really love a better schedule.
Honestly, ideal. Let's talk about ideal. My ideal would be to work during the hours that he's in school, to be completely honest, because I'm occupied while he's occupied, and then when he's not occupied, that'll be our time together. Obviously, that's not going to happen unless I literally go out there and pick through every single job, or I say, hey, I can only work 8:30 to 2:30. Like, that would be, but then I feel like it would be a job in a field that I have no clue about. That's the other thing. So then it would be working something that I've never done in my life, and I would probably love or hate it. Versus now, yes, I have a typical 9 to 5, with weekends, but it works because technically speaking, he goes to school at 8 o'clock. He's not getting done till 5 o'clock now because it's football season. So it's kind of the concept of me being busy while he's being busy, and then we have our nighttime together. But then some days are very draining. So then it's like when we get home and it's supposed to be our time together, we're separating because he's had a long day because he's had school and then practice. He's tired. And then I've had a long day because it's been stressful. So it's like, it's balancing, but it's not balancing. I feel like if he had that leeway where he was getting out of school, or I feel like once football season is over, we could talk about that again, because he won't be as tired when he gets out of school because he'll have that extra 2 hours that he's not stuck at practice and he's working himself like crazy.
So let's talk about something that I don't hear anyone ever say. Let's talk about the fact that these kids in school, to me, I know, yes, they have to go to school to learn, right? Whatever. But going to school is a hard job. It's work. It's hard. Not only are you trying to learn a new thing, you're trying to fit in and make friends, and sometimes you're dealing with people that aren't being nice to you, and then that's stressful on your psyche, and they're still developing their frontal cortex, their brain. And I just feel like no one really talks about how hard these kids are working. And then after school, they go to fucking do sports. And then it's like, no wonder why he's fucking tired. He just worked a whole fucking day himself.
Yeah, he did an 8-hour shift too. He put in the work as well. And I have to, like I said, I do mental health check-ins with him too, because I know that he gets very, so he has classes that he's never taken before this year, like I said. So it's a new skill that has to be learned. So now he's taking Spanish. Up until 8th grade, he's taking French. Spanish and French are very similar, but they're not. And so it's a new language for him to learn. So that's a struggle because it's the first hour of the day. So he's waking up. So if he's tired, he got to go speak a different language. That's stressful. Then you have him taking that Passion to Paycheck class. That's stressful. He's taking on a new sport that he's never played before. That's stressful. They do eligibility checks every week to guarantee if they can play for the next game. That's stressful. So not only are you trying to balance school, you're trying to learn the plays and everything, and also keep up good grades at the same time so that you can be able to play. So that's very stressful for him. So like I said, I try to at least every day have a dialogue with him that's not just like, how was your day? Because he can answer that with one word. Fine. Good. Okay. What was better about today than what was yesterday? Yep. I have to reword it. What was better about today than yesterday? So he'll say, well, today I actually got an A on my assignment versus yesterday I missed 3 questions or something like that. Like if you word it differently, I feel like I'm able to get more out of him versus if I say, well, school today. He'll be like, fine. What was fine about it? Like, give me some more detail. Like, is there anything that I can help you with? Like, I took Spanish. I'm fluent in it. And so I feel like I can help him with that. That one he's trying to figure out on his own because he said that French and Spanish are very much in the same. It's this new generation of math that we're struggling with. So I hate to say it, but if he's got a C, to me that's perfectly fine because that means he's trying. It ain't easy. He didn't show it to me a couple times and I'm like, I can't help you. Like, it's not the way I learned it. So I give these kids mad props because, like I said, they're getting up early. I try to give him a full breakfast in the morning. That way he's got a full belly. That way his brain is working, blah, blah, brain food, blah, 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 whatever. Then they don't go to lunch till 12:30, almost 1 o'clock. So then he's got practice afterwards. So by the time he's getting home, he's starving. So then that's where my work-life balance comes in because I'm trying to make sure that I feed him as soon as we get in the door because there's that 5 hours in between lunch and practice where he's not eating. So like I said, I give these kids mad props to try to balance themselves, work-life balance, school, and then he has homework to do. So he only is really getting maybe an hour of free time every night between games, practice, and homework.
You couldn't pay me to be a kid in today's society. There's no way.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I said, I give all kids props. I give all these parents props because, like I said, if I can't do this new generation math, I know most of these parents who have these kids can't do this generational math. So we gotta bond together because it's a struggle for them just as much as it's a struggle for us to try to maintain good grades. Because, like I said, the one day we were doing a math problem, I did it the way that I learned. He did it the way. Did we come up with the same answer? No. So how do I know which answer is the correct answer if I don't know what I'm doing?
ChatGPT, please help. Phone a friend, I guess.
Literally, that's my new friend because, like I said, I don't get it.
I don't know why they changed it, but that's okay.
I don't. Poor math, or they call it.
I feel like when, like a piece of advice I wish I would have, like I could give myself to my 16-year-old self, I think I would tell her that it's okay to not work every day. You don't have to make a paycheck. Like, it was always instilled in me, like I had to work. And I think that's why for the last 24 years, I've been the way that I have been about a job. But I feel like some of these parents, and I'm just saying, like these older parents probably embedded that in their children. Because too, like that's just what like you don't have to have a job at 16, but if you want play money, sure.
And that's the conversation I told Elijah. Yes, you're taking this class and it's helping you for your future. But the day that you turn 14, you don't have to work. The day that you turn 15, 16, you don't have to work. But just know that when you start, you're starting. And that's how you start for the rest of your life. Because my advice to my younger self is I wouldn't have rushed into working 2 jobs at that age. Because now I feel like I don't know how to balance life without working 2 jobs. Like, I'm working 1 right now with a little side hustle every once in a while, but I'm so used to literally being at work 12 to 14 hours a day. So I don't know what to do with myself in my spare time. Like, I struggle. And it shouldn't be like that.
No.
It should be wanting to live my best life in my spare time. And I'm not. Like, I'm like, okay, what do I have to do to get this, and that? And like, it's spiraling in my spare time.
Exactly.
1,000%.
Well, friends, I think we had a great conversation talking about work today. And if you feel like this resonated with you, let us know. Please leave us a comment or a review.
Absolutely. Subscribe. But just know that we are out of options, but not out of opinions for now. Don't worry, we'll be back for more tea spilling, laughs, and she said what she said.
Bye, y'all.